Welcome back. The question that has been debated for months now, what role will Latino voters play in the upcoming election, especially with Donald Trump now in effect the Republican nominee? Well, there's a brand new Fox News Latino poll. 4 in 10 Latino voters have an unfavorable view of Hillary, which is interesting. What does that mean for the race? What does it mean for Donald Trump?
Fox News Latino is here with Bryan Llenas this morning. Bryan, great to see you this morning. Did the Taco Bowl tweet or Instagram post by Donald Trump help him at all?
Safe to say it did not. We're talking about the unfavorability, which is an interesting way we came into this, right? Yeah. 40%. If we look at one of the polls here, the big one here, but the question is, who do you prefer? 62% of Hispanics prefer Clinton, and only 23% prefer Donald Trump. But yet, the unfavorability for both are pretty fairly high. They're just not liked in general. We've seen that in general polls and also with Latino polls. But when we look at, obviously, the big deal here is that Donald Trump is just viewed unfavorably by such a big amount. It's 74%, 75%. Yeah. We need to look at the numbers in terms of what we're seeing with the 23% for Donald Trump. Mitt Romney got 27% in 2012. He's lower than that right now. Yeah. Bob Dole, the Republican Bob Dole, had the lowest on record. That was 21%. So Donald Trump has a ways to go with this. And the Republican Party, remember, in 2012, with their autopsy report, said that in order for them to ever win the White House again, they're going to have to bring Hispanics into the fold. And over the last 4 years, our poll has shown that it just doesn't seem to be working as of yet.
As that voting bloc is getting even bigger.
27 million voters, yeah.
At this stage in the game, we're starting to hear about potential running mates. If Clinton or Trump had an Hispanic running mate, does that make a difference to Hispanic voters?
Overwhelmingly, for either Clinton or Donald Trump, it does not. Especially for Donald Trump, we've been hearing a lot about New Mexico Governor Susana Martinez. Well, maybe, everybody says you can pick a VP nominee that can shore up a group that you're not doing very well with. But 86% of Hispanics say it makes no difference at all. And interestingly enough, if you look at the numbers there for Donald Trump, 7% say that it would make them more likely to vote for Trump, but almost equal amounts say that it would make them less likely, which is almost kind of a I wonder if they see it as a sort of a pandering move. It just doesn't make much sense for Hispanic voters. I think they've made up their minds on who Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are, and that's what they're voting on.
Interesting. I think it's a good sign. I mean, politicians pander so much, it's good to see people seeing through it.
Right.
So the poll also asked, what's the most important issue to you? And by far, the economy and jobs, #1.
This is a big one, right? I mean, we've seen that the economy and jobs, Hispanics were the hardest hit in the Great Recession. The average household, Doug, lost 66% of their wealth. That's the most by any group during the Great Recession, right? 66% of the household wealth. And so obviously it's always going to remain the economy right now. And then after that is education, national security, and immigration. Big thing about immigration, people will look at that and say, well, look, it's 4th on the list. It's really not that important. People that talk about immigration, it's pandering. But look at it. It's doubled from 6% to 12%. The number of Hispanics who think that it's the most important issue. Obviously, we've seen Donald Trump talk about immigration. Immigration has been talked about a lot, and Hispanics now feel that it's now the most important issue, which is an interesting thing to see.
66% of household wealth among Latino Americans lost in the crash.
And don't you always...
That is actually an amazing number.
It is.
Terrifying.
It is. It's about $6,000 is what we've got with the average household wealth. A lot of the wealth was in equity for Latinos. They live in California and Florida. They were hit really hard.
For sure. Boy, we're still feeling reverberations of that event. Thanks, Bryan.
Thank you.
Thank you.